What's up, nerds and gamers from all walks of life? Just in case you didn't know, my name's Justin and welcome to my channel, Just In Case Gaming. Today, it's true to my word, we are going to be taking a look at 2 bricks of the newest release from Wizkids D&D Icons of the Realms, the Fangs and Talons miniature set. This set is chock full of some amazing monsters and player characters for you to put into your game. It's a very monster-centric type of miniature release. It is so exciting. We're going to be taking a look, unboxing them, seeing what all the surprises are that are inside. But before we get started, to address a couple things, like and share this video with your friends. We're trying to get to over 200 subscribers by the end of the year, so help us make that dream a reality. Thank you all so much for watching, and for those of you that are watching this and you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. Become part of the Just In Case family. So let's see exactly how many Fangs and how many Talons are in this amazing set. Follow me! Alright, nerds and gamers, welcome back to the whiteboard. And I've already done the unboxing process just so that we don't have a whole lot of loud noises that are all over the place. And I separated them, all the miniatures, so I'll show you duplicates at the end of the video. But let's go ahead and start with the first small miniature that we have, the Mirage. This is a fantastic little beastie. He could be used as a companion. Maybe he's a familiar. He's a little bunny rabbit with a unicorn horn on him. I like how the fur is kind of muddled, you know, and I like how he almost has this little like wizard beard. Look at that, it's so cute. Great small miniature to begin with. Next up, we have another small, and this is the Twig Blight. 3 of 45. I like this miniature because it has a lot of uses. This could maybe be an elemental, maybe one of your halflings somehow changed into one of these guys or something. There's a lot of different uses that you could get out of a miniature like this. And it definitely, I like how the sculpt actually looks like it is wood. They were able to get a lot of great, a lot of great detail in there. Probably better with that light on. And just so that you all know, the Mirage, focus camera, was 4 of 45. And then we had the Twig Blight. Next up, we have one that we've never seen before as a miniature. This is a Boggle. Look at this little guy. Massive head. Love the detail that they were able to get with the eyes and the teeth. Looks just like he came out of the pages of the monster manual. He has these massive hands with these elongated fingers. This is a creature that, you know, resides under children's beds. You know, he's the monster under the bed. They were even able to get these little loincloths on the Boggle. Ooh. And the Boggle is 5 of 45. So that's a nice small miniature. Moving on. This is kind of a throwback monster for any of you that have ever needed Athenian apprentice. 20 of 45. You can definitely use it for the adventure that he comes in, that the Thayans are prevalent in. But also you could use him in many different types of scenarios. Maybe this is a cleric or a priest. Maybe he is the leader of a cult. But they were able to get this amazing detail. Let's see if it'll... Ooh, no, not wanting to focus. Look at that little runic detail that is on his forehead.
We have come a very long way in miniatures. Then he has these gold accents that adorn his entire robe. He's got his cape that folds over. 20 of 45. Day an apprentice. Next up, we have Swamp Thing. No, this is a Vine Blight. 13 of 45. The Vine Blights, they're kind of like shambling mounds, but more humanoid forms. I like how it almost appears as if the vines coming off of his head have created hair and a beard. Let's see if maybe you see him better that way. No, need the light on. And they were able to get these different shades of green. They were able to get these lighter greens in there with these darker greens. And it looks pretty great, not gonna lie. The Vine Blight. Very nice. Next up has to be one of my favorite of the medium miniatures. This is the Skeletal Alchemist. 7 of 45. 7 of 45. He has all of these runes that are going across his robes with these little gold details. He's got his fist clenched up on this side, and he's holding a translucent plastic potion bottle in his other hand, and look at that beard. With that translucent blue plastic, that looks amazing. That could be like a ghostly beard, or maybe some kind of magical energy coming out of his mouth. These like magical tendrils almost. And Wizkids is getting so much better with their paint detailing and the plastics that are used, because you can actually see that that is a skeletal face and all the details that are on there. That is fantastic. Next up, we have a Fire Genasi fighter, 16 of 45. This is a new race that was added, playable recently. And they're kind of like a hybrid of a human and a djinn, from what I understand. And it has this nice kind of burgundy skin with these metallic bracers that are on her. And she has that nice metal plating. I love the crossbow and how you can actually see all the little wood details that go through there. And her punk hairstyle that's, you know, almost like her hair is on fire. This could be used as a player character if anybody in your party wants to play a Genasi, or it could be used as an NPC. Really great mini. Next up, another one of my favorites from this set. This is the animated armor, 6 of 45. Look at the details. This thing looks like it just was awoken by, you know, a necromancer or a sorcerer, some kind of wizard. You can see the chainmail loincloth right there, and all of these amazing swirls that are going through the armor. And there's even, I don't know if you can really see it too well, but that the inside of his helmet right there, it looks like, no, I'm wrong. I thought that that was some kind of translucent plastic, but it's just painted black. I like how it just looks like it's this empty suit of armor that literally just came to life. Everybody knows animated armor. It's armor that is animated and will fight by your side, or will fight for you. All right. Next up. Surprisingly, this is the only one of these that I got. This is the winged kobold scale sorcerer, 24B of 45. There is one version of him that does not have the fireball in the hand, so I really love the translucent fireball effect that they got on him. I also really like these wings. You can see the tattered patchwork and the subtle light browns and dark browns and blacks that they were able to get into this kobold. His skin, the plastic that they used is almost a translucent-like material. That's really nice. He's holding a dagger in the other hand. I'm disappointed that I only got one of these guys in both of my bricks. Wish I could have gotten more, but I did get a lot of these guys. This is another kobold. This is a great one. This is the Kobold Inventor 15 of 45, and he has a bucket or a basket that is filled with rot worms, and he has a basket that is on his back that has skunks in it. So look at the little skunk that's up there, and he throws skunks at people and throws those rot grubs. This is a great mini. Out of this set, you could definitely build a nice little warren of kobolds to add to your kobold warband. This is another great kobold inventor, 2 of 45, where again he has the skunk bucket. But he has this staff that has a scorpion attached to the end of it. So you see that little scorpion tail? He just goes around and gets the scorpion to sting people, makes it very agitated. And he has something that is on his wrist right there. Could just be like a fashion statement of his, but I don't really know what that is. That is on his wrist. But you can make up something. Maybe it's some kind of fireball launcher or something like that. They are inventors after all. So those are the kobolds that we got. And next up we have another great player character. We actually got 2 versions of them. We got the one with the hammer and the one with the sword. These are Goliath fighters, 1 of 45 and 14 of 45. So if you have any players that want to play a Goliath fighter, or maybe you just need some more Goliaths in your warband, this is a really good miniature that has some nice detail work. I love the metallic paints that they used for the armor. Really gives off that sheen that it is, actual metal. Other than that, it's a pretty similar looking mini, both of them, other than the Warhammer and the Claymore that he has. A lot of great detail. Love the little accents of paint that they were able to get for the tattoos on the face. That is a really good player character mini. Next up, we have a very ghostly apparition. We have the Skulk. So I don't know too much about skulks, to be completely honest with you all. I'm assuming that they are kind of like a, given their name, that they're these silent killers, maybe these silent assassins. You could use this as maybe some kind of bounty hunter or something like that. That'd be kind of cool. He has these really long finger talons. He has a very Slender Man-esque face in which that there is no discernible details that are on his face. You can see kind of these sunken in eye holes right there, like a slight nose. And it's just this nice translucent plastic that gives it the look that it is invisible. All right, next up, keeping with this ghostly theme, we have a miniature that I did not have any kind of representation for. This is a Banshee, 23 of 45. This Banshee has some nice paint detail on her face. I think they could have maybe did a little bit better on that. Looking at it up close now, kind of just looks like she has this red lipstick on, but it's supposed to look like she has, you know, these red glowing eyes. And it's made of this nice translucent plastic. I love what they did with the hair, that it's all unfurled as if she's screaming and she's holding out her hand, giving that death wail. This is a nice miniature. We don't get a whole lot of ghost minis, so it's nice when we get that representation. And this is another amazing medium miniature. This is the Lizard Folk, 9 of 45. I have quite a few Lizard Folks, so this is nice to add to my warband, but look at how detailed he is. These little, like, blobs of yellow that are on there, on his leggings, this gigantic bone sword. And Wizkids has really stepped up their game. I've said this a lot in my last few videos, but look at that. It's not gonna break on you. And if you have any bending when you get these out of the boxes, just put them in some hot water, put them back in some cold water directly after that, after you've reshaped it, and it will hold its form very nicely. I love this plumage that is coming off of his head right there, the fin with these nice blues going into the yellows and the orange. He has a quiver on his back right there that has these very sharp sticks that he's fashioned into weapons. And he even has a fish on his belt, because everybody needs a fish. All right, next up, any arachnophobes that are watching the video, turn away for a moment, because this is a terrifying miniature. This is the giant wolf spider, 8 of 45. It's huge. It's literally like holding it in my hands. This is probably the size of a wolf spider as is. So my wife is already, she was very freaked out by this miniature. She hates spiders, but it looks as if it is jumping at you. You could also maybe say that this white translucent plastic that's holding him up in that jumping position is maybe webbing or something like that. But I mean, what more can I say? It's a giant creepy spider. Great detail. Love the fur and the arms. He's in a great position, ready to pounce on any of your unsuspecting party members, grapple them, poison them, spin them in their giant web. Great mini. Next up, never seen this mini represented before. I believe it's its first time. This is the Burbalang, 19 of 45. Love the little goatee that he has going on there, and this massive skull with this probably big brain guy right here. These creatures deal in secrets, I believe. So they love getting secrets. So if you have maybe a Burbalang featured in your story, if your characters need to get some information, maybe writing in this Burbalang informant would be a great addition to your game. All right, as for a rare that we got, this is the fabled Tridrone miniature that back in Monster Menagerie 3, we got a Kraken Priest that was mislabeled as Tridrone. So this is the actual Tridrone miniature, 35 of 45. And this is him in all of his glory, holding these 3 javelins. They have this nice crescent moon shape. You have that great Modron face with the giant one eye and those weird lips. And they have, how many legs is that? 6? It's got 6 legs. So these are kind of warband leaders for the Modrons. And I believe that this completes our Modron army. We have all of the different types of Modrons now, except for the leader of the Modron. So this is a great miniature. It would have been funny if they had mislabeled this one Kraken Priest. That would have been great. Would have been a nice inside joke. Next up, we have a very cool miniature. This is Vampiric Mist, 22 of 45. You can see the vein details that they were able to get into this translucent mist cloud. And it just looks like these veins that are pulsating. So some vampires, when they're killed, they can turn into this mist, and this mist goes around, has their life essence in it, and they can drain blood from other people. So this is a really cool miniature. It could be used for different things. You could use it for a ghost, some kind of specter. You could even use it as maybe a spell. Maybe paint this up, use it as a kill cloud. There's a lot of things that you can do with that one. It's a good mini. Next up, we have the Gloomweaver, 18 of 45. So you have this dark elfish looking character that has a skull, like a wolf skull, that's attached to his side right there. This white swooping hair, the pointed ears. The paint detail on the face could be a little bit better, but I mean, at least it's not like one eye is all the way up here or something. He's got an interesting dynamic pose and this great shadow flame-like translucent purple plastic that is coming off of the base, making it appear as if he's, going through the shadows. Really think that they could have brought a lot more paint detail into the rest of him, though. Like, look at the pouches that are on his side. They're not even painted a different color. I think that that could have been done a little bit better, but otherwise, this is a great mini. Okay. Now, for those in your party, or those of you that like to play a human wizard, this is the miniature for you. Look at that. And this is, I believe, an uncommon in the set, but this almost looks like a rare miniature. Fantastic robes. You can even see the little belt buckle that's on the inside right there. He's got great paint detail on the face with these turned up eyebrows, as if he is really into the spell that he's casting. And you have this staff that he has summoned out of magical energy. You can see how it connects right here. It's almost like a frost staff. You can see these crystalline structures right there and how it's firing out this freezing blast right there. Or maybe you could say that this was maybe a tome of some kind and the spell energy came out and created that. But this is where I am really, really blown away, is the inside of the book. Look at that. If I can get it to focus. There's actual text that they have gotten in there and a fireball on that one page. And it's discernible. You can actually see what it is. This is a all-around fantastic player character mini, or maybe a villain for your campaign. All right, let's see what we have next. An ambush drake. Big old lizard boy, 10 of 45. The ambush drake is, of course, a drake that walks on all fours, runs on all fours, very acrobatic type of creature, and they do as their name suggests. They love to ambush their prey. You could have a pack of these running around, or maybe some guards have one that goes around the village at nighttime and likes to keep guard. But it's a pretty good mini. I mean, it's a drake. He's got these nice fang details, good detail work with the paint on the tongue, and the scales look great. But I mean, it's a drake. I only got one of these in my 2 bricks, but this made up for it. We got another rare miniature, and this is a Tabaxi fighter, 34 of 45. So anyone that loves playing these cat folk, you have a miniature to represent you now. So we have this cheetah looking Tabaxi with the great spot detail that is put all over him. He has this little shield here and this rapier sword. Very flexible plastic. And yeah, this is a nice Tabaxi fighter. I do think that this spot for the Tabaxi fighter could have been used for maybe a better miniature? Maybe another type of huge creature or something. I don't know. But it's a really good one. I don't have a lot of Tabaxi minis, so pretty good miniature in my opinion. Let's just go ahead and get this miniature out of the way. I got way too many of these guys in my brick. We're on to the larges and the huges. I'm just gonna get this guy out of the way. This is the Yuan-Ti Anathema. And he is 31 of 45. And as you can see here, if you've watched any of my other videos, maybe my Icewind Dale case unboxing or the Mythic Odysseys of Theros brick unboxing that I've done, you can see that that Wizkids has moved to these translucent plastic bases now instead of the black ones here. And they are fantastic. I play with terrain, so I like to see the terrain that is underneath me, and doing this clear base really gives you that feeling that it's just the creature that is out there. So this is how big he is compared to, you know, some other miniatures. And this is a huge. Now, I want you all to see my problem with this miniature. Maybe you already see it, but this is a huge mini. And look how much space is left on this base. He could have easily, this is a large miniature, he could have easily fit on a large base. I know this is a huge creature, but that is a lot of extra real estate that you could have done. If you're gonna give us a Yuan-Ti Anathema, there's another version of the Yuan-Ti Anathema, or maybe it's a Yuan-Ti Abomination. It's one of the two, and they did it years ago, and it was a very thick, huge looking version of him, and he's bigger than this guy. I know that they're big. I know that they're scary. It's the perfection of the Yuan-Ti. They all want to become one of these. Got the creepy hands, great scale detail all around. It's a really nice looking mini. It just needs to be bigger. I think that they could have amped up the size of him a little bit, because look at him compared to, you know, like one of these other big minis that I'm about to get out. But like, look at that. This is a large earth elemental. They're almost the same size. Come on. Come on, guys. Give us a better Yuan-Ti Anathema than that. All right, so since I've already showed him, this is the Earth Elemental. Let's get a good looky there. 26 of 45. Earth Elemental. And this is your stereotypical Earth Elemental, really like the wash that they were able to get on there. These blacks that go in there makes it look like dirt. So he's a really great rock elemental. I only got one of these in my 2 bricks though, so I don't know how the ratios are divvied out. I didn't even get a single water elemental. Wish I did, but this is a great one. It could be paired well with the Pathfinder huge earth elemental that I reviewed. Check out that video if you haven't seen it. All right, next up on the elementals, we have the fire elemental. Now this is a great miniature, but we've gotten a lot of fire elementals in the past, and I know that they're wanting to give everybody, you know, more elementals so that you can shape change into it, or maybe cast a spell, or just have them around as these nice enemies to fight. This is a fantastic looking one. I mean, he's got that great translucent orange plastic, nice flame details with the yellow that go up it. He has this snarling, menacing face and these big claws. And it's a pretty heavy little miniature. I just think that they could have... I mean, it's nice that they're including these elementals. Everybody needs... That's why I said that this is a nice beginning DM set to get, because you get a lot of really common miniatures like these fire elementals and some of the, like the wolf spiders and lizard folk. You get a lot of creatures that you can get a lot of mileage out of. And then we have the air elemental. It's just a solid piece of translucent plastic. Looks nice, great sculpt on the face, but this is, I believe that these two are the same as the unpainted Nolzur's Marvelous Miniatures. So this one is literally that one from Nolzur's, just with a little bit of blue that has been added in there. I think that maybe a little bit of white dry brushing could have really brought this guy to life. But he's almost the same as the unpainted version. He just has this little bit of blue that's coming in there. The Earth Elemental with the Nolzur's line is in a different pose. And I don't have the Water Elemental to show you guys, but wish I did, but I didn't pull him. Next up, we have probably my favorite type of Djinn, other than the Ifriti. This is the Merid. I love these guys. This looks like Boss Nass, doesn't it? Oh, the bongo. He's a big chunkin' genie that has this nice water or air. It's supposed to be water, like a cyclone of water. They dwell in these amazing coral reef types of palaces. And if you find one of these, be careful what you wish for. He has this great face sculpt that I think looks a lot like Boss Nass. These nice fins that are coming out of the top of his head and down his back. This metallic, like gold sheen that's in the fin back there. That's pretty cool. But great miniature. Next up, we have a... This is such a cool miniature. We got a rare one here. This is the Slod. This is a green Slod. Enemy to the Modern race, coming from Limbo. They love chaos. They are lords of chaos. And this is just a fantastic looking sculpt. You have the little tendrils that are coming off like a beard. He's got his teeth. You can see every little wart and scale detail that is put into there. And he has these great frog eyes. Maybe you can see it better right there. Yeah, look at that. He has these skulls that are adorning his staff. So you got like this wolf skull and all these human skulls. These big spikes that are coming out of there. Just overall really painted well. Nice big talons. And this is the green Slod, 39 of 45. The Slod, they love to propagate themselves with using different types of Slod to do different things. And one thing that they are able to do is actually with, I think it's the red Slod, they are able to impregnate other species with their claws and put their eggs inside their stomachs. And then those eggs become little Slod tadpole that burst out of people's chest like an alien. They are a nasty race of creatures. Next up, I did not have this mini, but this is an aboleth. A very scary classic monster. This one looks very wet, like he just came out of the water. You can see those 3 eyes that are on the top, and this just gross looking mouth with 1, 2, 3 rows of teeth. It just looks like this big, nasty catfish, fluke worm type of thing. If anybody's watched X-Files, this kind of looks like Fluky from there. He's got these nice spines and this teal and baby blue color, and he's coming off of this wave. These guys like to reside in the water, and this is the Aboleth 41 of 45, and they use psionic mind powers to control different races of creatures or player characters. If you get stuck in a fight with an Aboleth, you better be in for one hell of an encounter. All right, this is one of my favorite miniatures. We're getting down to the wire. This is the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Look how big this guy is. Oh my gosh. Like, okay, so here's a Genasi fighter. Look at this guy. This T-Rex is absolutely massive. He's super heavy. Made really well. I'm pressing in really hard on his arms. The new plastics that Wizkids has been using has been fantastic. Look at those teeth. He's in a great pose, like he's running, you know, in a great pose. Here he is compared to a Beholder. This is one of my favorite miniatures, this Beholder one. That's great. But that's him compared to a Beholder. Overall, this is really just a great, I mean, look at all of the scale details. You can see all the bumps and spines that just transition really well from this green into this almost, it's like a pinkish, like brown type of, I don't really know how to describe it, but he has this great pose that he's running at your player characters. Really great miniature. All right. We have our next huge mini that we got. And this is, I love trolls. Trolls are some of my favorite D&D monsters just because they are so hard to kill. And they can do so many different things. We found out recently that different trolls that eat different types of trolls can gain different abilities. And this is a type of troll that eats other trolls. And you can see what happens. They grow larger in size and they start to develop features from the other trolls, like these other faces and heads. So you have these creepy faces, these nice blue accents that are coming in there, kind of like it's ripping from the skin. You have these bones that adorn his arm here. These nice giant talons. All these skulls that are lining his belt. These two arms that are protruding from this arm and an extra little baby arm coming out of the back with this other little guy. Hey, how are ya? Oh, yeah. This is a sick looking miniature. It's an uncommon, but it's probably one of my favorites from the entire set. And here it is next to a Venom Troll. Look at how much bigger that guy is. Look at that. He's going to eat him and then be able to gain his abilities. This is a scary monster. But something interesting happened with the two dire trolls that I got in the box. So you see how this guy's hands, even, his feet are kind of inward. But this guy, this hand is turned completely a different way. And it's not like the plastic moved around or anything. Like, it's actually just on that way. And then this other hand is in a completely different position than his, and it's sculpted that way. So I don't know if this is just some kind of factory error or something, but I'm really glad that I got this differentiation because it makes the two of them look quite different, you know? So that's really, really cool. Go ahead and put that guy right up in there. And, oh, I totally forgot this medium miniature. The heaviest medium miniature that is in the box. If you feel one of your boxes and you feel something heavy shaking around inside, it is probably this guy. Normal door on the back. It is, whoop, This is a mimic door, 21 of 45. And just look at that. Oh my gosh, he's just popping right out of the door. He's got all these different eyes, this gigantic purple tongue with all these fangs. And you can see that he's like even kind of squinted inward because of the door handle right here. Oh, this is such a cool mimic to add to your collection. And then we have the final two miniatures that I am going to be covering. And these, to me, are some capstone miniatures of the set. First off, we have the Fire Giant Skeleton. This is an armored, undead fire giant that is going to be such a cool miniature for you to use in your campaign. Throw one of these guys at your players, and it is a terrifying encounter. He has this huge sword that's broken and chipped off, as if the elements have gotten to it. This nice metallic armor. You can even see the rib cage. Great detail on the face with the paint applications on there. I can see why this miniature goes for so much on the secondary market. This is a great miniature. And for those of you that are wondering what it looks like next to the frost giant skeleton, let's see if we can get the camera to focus. Oh, hang on, let's see. Focus in, there we go. Yeah, look at that. So the frost giant skeleton towers over him, but they're both huge, both undead, and they are ready to eat all of your player characters. So there's not a stat block for the fire giant skeleton. There is for the frost giant skeleton though. So if you wanted to take his stat block from Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frost Maiden, and maybe tweak it for him, because the frost giant skeleton, he has these frost eye beams that he can spray out. Maybe you have a fire ray beam that you can do for this guy. So just different options for you to utilize in your game. And finally, my favorite miniature of the set. I am so glad I pulled this guy. He was the one that I wanted the most. This is the Nightwalker. Anyone that knows what a Nightwalker is, this is walking death incarnate. He has these shadow flames that are coming off the back of him. Whenever these guys walk around, everything just begins to decay and begins to rot and die. They have an amazing ability, Death Touch or something like that, where they can instantly just point at something and kill them. And look how massive this guy is compared to this Genasi. Look at that. This is really a capstone mini. He has the subtle dry brushing details that go across him with these kind of like white or grays that go up his horns and all over his body. And he just looks like a devilish version of Slender Man. He has 3 eyes over here and 3 eyes over here, and these big, long, elongated mouth with his jawline that comes down to there with these fangs. This is a great miniature. Love the cloven hooves. You could get a lot out of this miniature. And that is what I pulled from the Fangs and Talons miniature set. Let's go ahead and take a look at these guys on some terrain, and I'll give you my final thoughts. So as for my final thoughts with the Fangs and Talons miniature set, Wizkids has outdone themselves again. There are some amazing sculpts and paint jobs within this beautiful set that we got. You have some really awesome pieces like the Fire Giant Skeleton, the T-Rex, and the Nightwalker. Just all around some amazing minis for beginner DMs and advanced DMs. I think that the only thing that I really did not like for some of the minis. Was that Yuan-Ti Anathema? I definitely think that was a lot of wasted space on that base. But I think that this is a fantastic set for anybody that wants to bring some unique creatures into their game and always spice up their play sessions with their player characters. Go pick it up, guys.
So gamers, that wraps up my review and take on the D&D Icons of the Realms Fangs and Talons miniature set. This is a great set for any beginner DM and for DMs that have been DMing for years. This is an amazing set. You get a lot of diversity. I did get a lot more duplicates in these two bricks than I normally do, so that may vary for you guys as well, but we got some awesome set pieces. I had a couple of problems with those minis, like I told you, like the Yuan-Ti Anathema, but overall, really quality product. I love what Wizkids is doing. Keep it up, Wizkids. But I wanted to thank you guys so much for watching, and I also wanted to say, hit that subscribe button and hit that like button, because again, we're trying to get 200 subscribers by the end of the year. I wanted to thank you all so much for watching, and we actually have some really interesting reviews that are in the works. We're going to actually be diving into some action figures. I'm hoping next year sometime we can maybe even do some gaming things. But I also wanted to know what you all want to see from the channel. Do you all want to see some games? Are you wanting to see maybe some tutorials or something on maybe how to set up a dungeon or a terrain set? Ideas for monsters? Or do you want some DMing tips? Let me know in the comment section down below. And thank you all again so much for watching. Be safe out there. Be nerdy. And I'll see you in the next video.